When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest.
We got to talk about Trump's best comebacks, okay? Because obviously Trump is a comedian. I mean, the guy is absolutely hilarious. And so we're going to take a look at some of his best comebacks and, stings or jokes about people. Some of them, not all of them. So I'm sure there's going to be a couple that you're like, man, you didn't get this one or I didn't have that one. All right. We can't fit everything into one video. I mean, the guy's a comedian. I mean, whenever this guy opens his mouth, it's just something funny, especially back in 2016. But with that being said, let's dive in.
Country where to assimilate you have to speak English. I'm not the first one to say this, Dana. We've had many people over the years, for many, many years, saying the same thing. This is a country where we speak English, not Spanish.
Trump, take 30 seconds.
Let me just, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with
How tough is it to take property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times. That's all of his donors and special interests out there. So that's what it is. And by the way, let me just tell you, we needed tickets. You can't get them. You know who has the tickets I'm talking about to the television audience? Donors, special interests, the people that are putting up the money. So it is. The RNC told us we have all donors in the audience, and the reason they're not loving me, the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. And I'm the only one up here that can say that. I know so many of the people in the audience. And by the way, I'm a self-funder. I have my wife and I have my son. That's all I have. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake. All right? Now, you can take it any way you want. And it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent two.
And that's one of the reasons why we love Uncle Trump. And that is because he doesn't have people that tell him what to say. We saw that, as you heard, with Jeb Bush, but we also saw that with Kamala and Joe Biden, how when a disaster would happen, they would just absolutely disappear. They were nowhere to be found. And then 3 days later, then they would pop out with some type of statement after it's been vetted and checked and rehearsed and everything else. Then they come out with the statement like 3 days later. And it's just like, well, this is obvious that this isn't from the heart. This isn't genuine. This was typed up by some, campaign assistant, okay? And it's been vetted 1,001 times and rehearsed. Trump, he just speaks. He shoots from the hip, right? For me, that's what one of the reasons why I like Uncle Trump, and I'm sure it's one of the reasons you do as well. But let's continue.
$2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
He should be impeached.
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
The
World Trade Center came down during your brother's reign. Remember that.
Hold on.
Let me finish this.
Friends, the World Trade Center came down during the reign of George Bush. He kept us safe. That's not safe. That is not safe, Marco.
Oh, my mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should
this
be
is
running.
not about my family. This is a tough business to run for
I
president.
know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is principled.
tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So
Doesn't matter.
far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do.
Trump. He wanted casino gambling in Florida.
I didn't want
Yes, you did.
Totally false.
You wanted it, and you didn't get it because I was
it.
opposed to casino gambling
I
before,
promise I would've
during,
gotten it.
and after to be bought by
I
anybody.
promise if I wanted it, I would have gotten it.
No way, man.
Believe me.
Nope.
I know my people.
Not even possible.
I know my people.
But the
I didn't
simple
wanna,
fact is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I
The
didn't
simple
want
fact
to...
is,
Jeff,
Donald,
all
you
good.
cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like
No.
that. Look.
I was asked the question.
The weakest person on the stage by far on illegal.
Hold on before he gets it. He said more energy today. I like that. Like, not only is this guy just a bull in a china shop, but he's hilarious. He's hilarious. And he's not even trying to be funny. Like, he's just shooting from the hip. Oh, like, Trump is genuinely a funny guy. You know, like, you know, we all know people or have seen comedians where it just all seems forced, you know. But Trump, he's just genuinely funny. And he's not even trying.
Illegal immigration is Jeb Bush. They come out of an act of love, whether you like it or not. He is so weak on illegal immigration, it's laughable, and everybody knows.
That's fine. I don't really
spend
care
a little
about it.
more money on the
I can handle
commercials.
it. But if you want to talk about weak,
He also
the simple
said
fact
about
is,
language.
I've laid out my plans.
He said
as it
about
relates to
language. My
immigration.
language. 2 days ago, he said he would take his pants off and moon everybody, and that's fine. Nobody reports that. He gets up and says that, and then he tells me, "Oh, my language was a little bit rough."
Bragg, for example, that he's been bankrupt 4 times, and it was great because he could use the legal system.
Let me respond. That's another lie. I never went bankrupt.
Hold on, Mr. Trump.
It's another lie.
But hold on.
No, but it's a
basis
lie. This
of
guy,
his
he doesn't know what
campaign.
he's talking about.
We need someone with a
Just a
proven
lie.
record.
I use the laws to my benefit because I run a company.
Yeah,
I
it was-
never went bankrupt. Excuse me, Jeb.
Yeah.
I never went bankrupt. Never. Now, but you don't want to say that.
Jeb doesn't really believe I'm unhinged. He said that very simply because he has failed in this campaign. It's been a total disaster. Nobody cares. And frankly, I'm the most solid person up here.
Ever ready. It's very high energy, Donald.
Mr. Trump?
Humble.
I like Donald. He is an amazing entertainer. Most of his life.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For most of his life, that's a matter of principle.
You are the single
tell
biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single biggest liar.
All right.
This guy lied. Let me just tell you. This guy lied about Ben Carson when he took votes away from Ben Carson in Iowa. And he just continues. And today, we had robocalls saying Donald Trump is not going to run in South Carolina, where I'm leading by a lot. I'm not going to run. Vote for Ted Cruz. This is the same thing he did to Ben Carson. This guy will say anything. Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I
Senator
get to
Cruz, pick
respond.
from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
When you point to his own record, he screams, liar, liar, liar. If you want to go...
Where did I support it? Where did I support it?
If you want to go...
Hey, Ted,
watch,
where did I
if you
support
want to
it?
go and watch the video, go to our website,
Ted,
tedcruz.org.
where
You
did I
can see
support it, Ted?
out
Now, don't
of
tell me about
Donald's
a
own
video.
mouth. When we
Where
were
did I support it?
You supported it when we were battling over defunding Planned Parenthood. You went on
That's a
television
lot
and
of
said
nonsense.
Planned Parenthood does wonderful things and we should not defund
Oh,
them.
it does do wonderful things, but not as it relates to abortion.
So tell
They
me, what
do
are the
some-
wonderful
excuse
things?
me,
What are the wonderful
excuse
things it
me.
does?
There are wonderful things having to do with women's health.
You see,
but
you and I
not when it
disagree on
comes
that.
to
That's
abortion.
and
Not
John,
when it comes
the
to
reason
abortion.
principle matters.
That's where I draw the
John,
line.
the reason...
Mr. Trump. Talking about the polls, I'm beating him awfully badly in the polls.
But you're not
every single
beating
one of them.
Hillary.
So
But
I
you're
don't
not
know.
beating
I don't-
Hillary.
Well, then if I can't beat her, you're really going to get killed, aren't you? First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. And
Mr. Trump?
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
Man, oh, I forgot about that classic moment. Oh, man. I never talk about his looks, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter. Yo, man. Whoo, baby. Oh, goodness gracious. Trump is hilarious.
He said back in 2006, gee, I hope it does collapse because then I can go in and buy some and make some money. Well, it did collapse.
That's called business, by the way. And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs. You can't bring back jobs.
Well, actually, I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30
and
years.
I have, well, not quite that long, Dad.
But you have no plan.
Oh, I do.
Secretary,
in fact,
you
I
have no
written
plan.
A book about it. It's called Stronger Together. You can pick it up tomorrow.
That's about all you
folks.
At the bookstore. So if you want to see in real time what the facts are, please go and take a look.
And take a look at mine also, and you'll see. She's telling us how to fight ISIS. Just go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much. No, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do.
No, we're not.
See, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do. No wonder you've been fighting. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
So it's negotiable?
It's not negotiable. No, let her release the email. Why did she delete 33,000?
Well, I'll let her.
Trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid,
I was against the war in Iraq, just so you put it out.
The record shows otherwise.
Yo! And it shows he didn't pay any federal income taxes. That makes me smart. Say he lying. You can't, because that does make him smart. Oh, man, bro, what? Oh, such classic moments. That makes me smart. This guy is too good. He's too good. Trump must be stopped. He's got to be stopped.
The record does not show that.
Why is your judgment
The record shows that I'm right.
Mrs. Clinton?
Well, I have much better judgment than she does. There's no question about that. I also have a much better temperament than she has. You know, I have a much better. Hillary has experience, but it's bad experience. We have made so many bad deals during the last. So she's got experience, that I agree, but it's bad experience. Whether it's the Iran deal that you're so in love with, where we gave them $150 billion back, whether it's the Iran deal, whether it's anything you could name, you almost can't name a good deal. I agree. She's got experience, but it's bad experience.
oh, it is. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
I knew that moment was coming, baby. Oh, man. Oh, that is... I know I keep saying classic moments, but that is most definitely a classic moment, because you'd be in jail. I got to run that one back. I have to. I don't have a choice. That is iconic.
Almost can't name a good deal. I agree. She's got experience, but it's bad experience.
Oh, it is. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton. It's just not true, and so please go.
You didn't delete him?
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Not well. We turned over 35,000. So
oh yeah.
It was,
what about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because you have nothing
in
to
the
say.
first. I'd like to get to the questions that the people have brought here tonight to talk to us about.
And get off this question.
If he wants to start, he can start. Go ahead, Hillary. No, go ahead, Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead.
Secretary Clinton?
She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump. And I say that about a lot of things. You know, I've heard Hillary complaining about so many different things over the years. Oh, we should have done this. But she's been there for 30 years. She's been doing this stuff. She never changed, and she never will change. She never will change.
Did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes for
Of course I do. Of course I do. And so do all of her donors, or most of her donors. I know many of her donors.
But that's not the point here.
Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do
Allow her
it?
to respond.
Because I was a senator with a Republican president.
Oh, really?
I will be the
You could
president
have done
who will
it. If
get
you were
it
an
done.
effective, if
That's
you were an
exactly
effective
right.
senator, you could have done it. If you were an effective senator, you could have done it. But you were not an effective.
Please allow her to
senator.
respond. She didn't interrupt you. Secretary Clinton, does Mr. Trump have the discipline to be a good leader?
No.
I'm shocked to hear that. Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of
No
the United
puppet,
States.
no puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit
No, you're
that
the
the
puppet.
Russians.
Which has led to the slowest GDP growth since 1949.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. You told me in July when we spoke. Go ahead,
I
Mr.
ask a
Trump.
simple question. She's been doing this for 30 years. Why the hell didn't you do it over the last 15, 20 years? You
know,
were
I
very
voted-
much involved. Excuse me. My turn. You were very much involved in every aspect of this country. Very much. And you do have experience. I'd say the one thing you have over me is experience, but it's bad experience because what you've done has turned out badly. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged because she should never have been allowed to run for the presidency based on what she did with emails and so many other things.
There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against
Should have
him.
gotten it.
This is a mind, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social
Such a nasty
Security
woman.
Trust Fund by making sure that we have sufficient.
Is that you're going to extinguish 180.
Oh, man. We'll go in that there. All right. So, hope y'all got a good laugh out of that. I know I sure did. Hopefully nobody spit any water out onto their phone or their computer or whatever you're watching me on. Oh, man. Because you'd be in jail. I don't talk about his looks, and there's plenty of subject matter. Oh, my goodness. Trump is just too funny, man. He must be stopped. Oh my goodness, that could have genuinely been a career for this guy, a comedian. He legit could have been a comedian. The guy is just genuinely funny without even attempting to be funny. But yeah, man. Woo! Hope you got a good laugh. Peace and love, family. I'm out.